because it actually helps Dallas as a whole. It helps the Metroplex as a whole. Home ownership is the key to our economic recovery. Home ownership is the key actually to good schools. More property taxes are being paid. More resources are going into the school districts. It's home ownership to me is the linchpin to our whole economy. When our market went down, guess what happened to the economy? It went into literally the toilet. That's what most people don't really realize is when the housing market crashed, that led to the whole economic, situation that we are experiencing that we're just now coming out. And you can see how housing is critical because now housing is creeping back up. And now the economy is getting a little bit better. To some of us, maybe not so much, but it's coming back. And again, that's key. So your part as a consumer is, of course, you want to find that house that you want. Your realtor is going to be key for that particular relationship. You depend on a realtor. I believe every homeowner should utilize a realtor, whether you're getting a new construction, building with a builder or not. Your realtor is the expert in that process because they can guide you through that. They can actually assist you with making sure you're getting the proper home and that things are going well. They can also be a gateway to a particular loan officer. I'm not here to tell you that you have to go with the city. I'm okay with that if you don't. What I want you to do, though, is to make sure that you go with someone that you can trust, that you can believe in, and that can guide you through that process and that you'll be actually happy with. So again, I apologize. I just kind of came in. I went to the wrong place, believe it or not. But I just wanted to let you know that city is there for you. If you have any questions of me, please, don't hesitate to ask. I guess before I hand it over, I guess I should address one or two things. Credit is often an issue that comes up for purchasing a home. It's the number one issue, so to speak, for individuals to get in a house. Well, at City, my belief as a loan officer is if someone isn't ready right now, it's my job to help them get ready, whether it's pointing you out to entities that can help you. I do know that Dallas County works with an entity that has been exceptional in helping individuals be credit worthy. There's also the Urban League, which has a home buyers club that can actually assist. But just because someone may not be ready today doesn't mean that you won't be ready 12 months from now, or 6 months from now, or even 3 months from now. And it's my job to let you know that it's not okay, you can't get a house now, I'm through with you. No. My job, again, as a loan officer, is to make sure that I am being a quality asset in your life. And again, credit is one of the issues. So I wanted to definitely let you know that don't be afraid. If you're not ready now, we can try to get you ready. But it's going to depend on what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice in the time and energy to do that. And the other aspect is affordability. If you're renting right now and you're paying $500 a month in rent, and you see a house that may have a house payment of $800 a month, one of the things I strongly advise you to do is start saving $300 a month. See, the reason being is once you get into that house, you have to grow accustomed to actually being in that house. And if you can't pay $800 a month now, then how are you going to pay $800 a month down the road? Yes, again, your financials may say you can afford the house, but really can't. So that's something that's very important. Saving money is a big thing for our underwriters that are looking at you. As an individual, they want to say, okay, well, this individual has some propensity to save. But if you're coming in with absolutely nothing, which happens, and I'm not going to tell you that it's not something that will prevent you from getting a home in some instances, but it helps you in case something goes down, or water heater goes down. Guess what? You can call this limp. Things of that nature. So savings, slash affordability is a very big thing. Now again, I'm sorry if I kind of ramble, I kind of go from here to here, but I just want to let you know that I am here for you. I'll be back in the back of the room unless you have any questions that we have.
Situation, if they know they're ready to buy, they think they're ready to buy.
I never tell anyone to go out and pay off all debt. First and foremost, I have to be very careful because credit bureaus are a little bit different, and that's one of the things, like I said, in working with Dallas County Housing, I know that they've used an attorney firm that's very good at helping individuals get credit worthy. With paying off old debts, sometimes that can actually be a detriment to the score. It's kind of odd the way that actually works, but in many instances, somebody goes out there and pay an old debt that's been on their credit report for 3 years. Sometimes that credit bureau or that creditor will report it again. Okay, they'll report it as being paid, but now it shows them as if it's a new debt or new charge off or new liability that hadn't been paid. So I tell everyone, no, don't do that. Let's look at it and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, and we actually have someone else here too that can speak to that. So, because I know I've heard that, you know, like sometimes you can go get a secure credit card and that'll help, you know, to boost your scores if you need.
It actually does. Secure credit cards can help raise your credit score. You can get them for as little, I think, as
so you can feel comfortable. You know, we get to know each other a lot better. We form a partnership. And so if there's anyone that I say, well, I have this person, like Ms. Brown is coming up, I want you to get in that program. If we can't get you in another program, then that's what I would suggest that you do. And you can call her up and talk to her about it and see if that program is going to work for you. But anyway, we're going to call up Ms. Joyce Brown from the Dallas Housing Counseling Center.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm always, when I see people get up on a Saturday morning to come out and get information, I know they're very interested in purchasing a home. So thank you for coming out. But my name is Joyce Brown, and I'm the administrator for the Dallas County Home Loan Counseling Center. And we are a home ownership counseling agency, anything dealing with home ownership. Our primary focus is to work with first-time home buyers to help them become home owners. So we have free home buyer education classes. We also have free budget and financial literacy classes, and we also have free credit repair workshops. All of this is to help you become a homeowner. Now, once you become a homeowner, you know, if you had any questions about property taxes, homeowners insurance, if you had your mortgage statement, you didn't understand that, or you didn't understand your escrow analysis, you know, we're here to answer those questions for you also. If you have problems making your mortgage payment, you're looking at foreclosures, if you can show that you have the ability to make the payment, then we're going to work with you and your lender to help you keep your home. And then we also do what we call reverse mortgage counseling. A reverse mortgage is a home equity loan for seniors. You have to be at least 62 years old to get this loan. But it allows you to pull the equity out of your house, and the equity is the difference between what your house will sell for minus the loan balance. You can pull that equity out, get a loan, and as long as you live in the home, you will not have to make a monthly payment. That loan is going to be paid off once you move or once you are deceased, you have passed. So that's the counseling that we do in the office. We're a HUD-approved counseling agency sponsored by Dallas County, so all our services are free. Now, I always say that all the services are free, but they're really not free because they're paid with your tax dollars. So I'm telling everybody, I want you to be a homeowner. I've got 4 more years to be in Dallas County, and I want to make sure that I can stay. You know, so make sure you get a home so you can pay those property taxes. Renetta asked me to come here today so that I could present to you information about down payment and closing cost assistance programs. So if you see, I've got a flyer that was in the chair. It says First Time Home Buyers Programs. First Time Home Buyer Program. So we're going to talk about the different types of down payment and closing cost assistance programs that are out there. So there's 4 different types of down payment and closing cost assistance programs. The first program, I just call your DAP program. These are the programs that the federal government provides assistance for. They're basically for low to moderate income homeowners. So let's call the DAP program. So Dallas County, we have one. The city of Dallas has one. Most of your large cities have some type of down payment and closing cost assistance program. The next program that you're going to see is what we call mortgage bond programs. And these mortgage bond programs can be issued by city, county, or the state. Right now, a few of the cities have bond programs, and then also the state of Texas, you know, has a bond program. But these bond programs usually work for those who don't fit into the DAP programs. You know, the down payment and closing cost assistance programs, those DAP programs are for low to moderate income. You might have a higher income. So if your income is higher than the DAP program, then you're looking at a bond program that you qualify for. After the bond program, there are a lot of lenders that have programs that can help you with closing costs. So you work with a particular lender, you find out from that lender, do you have money that you can give to a first-time home buyer? Because some lenders also have down payment and closing cost assistance programs. And then there are also some government programs that, or nonprofit programs in which you can purchase a home where you have very little that you have to pay in down payment. If you're a veteran, you know, veterans can have a 0 down payment. They don't have to have a down payment. There are Habitat for Humanity has a program. They don't really require down payment. So there are other programs out there that may be able to help you with the money you need to purchase a home. So how would you find these funds? So very first thing, if you're starting the search, one, you have to determine, are you a first-time home buyer? And the definition of a first-time home buyer is someone who has not owned a home in the past 3 years. So if you have not owned a home in the past 3 years, then you are considered a first-time home buyer. You could have owned one 10 years ago, but as long as you have not owned one in the past 3 years. Now, there's some exceptions to this policy. If you are a displaced homemaker, say, for example, you were married, and in the divorce, the spouse got the house, now you don't have one, you would be considered displaced. And so even though you've owned a home before, you know, you can still purchase one now. And then another exception to the policy is if you are a single parent. So if you're a single parent and you have owned in the past 3 years, that's okay. You know, you would be considered a first-time home buyer. The second thing you've got to do is decide what city do you want to live in. Really important. Not all cities have down payment and closing cost assistance programs. So you might want to live in Mesquite. You may say, Mesquite is the city that I want to live in. Well, the only program that would qualify for the city of Mesquite is if you were looking at the state bond program, because the state bond covers all, you know, the cities in the state of Texas. Whereas the city of Mesquite, because of its size, they've chosen to use their federal funds in areas other than down payment and closing cost assistance. Now, how do you find out if a city or a county housing department does have down payment and closing cost assistance? The very easiest way is to go to their website. So I would go to, say you wanted to find out if Grand Prairie had down payment and closing cost assistance. Just go to Google City of Grand Prairie, Texas, and you'll get their main website. You click on that. Then when you go to that city's website, up in the search box, put first-time home buyer. And if you put in that search box, first-time home buyer, it will show you, it'll probably give you a list of things you can click on to let you know if that city does have a down payment and closing cost assistance program. So once you decide what city you want to live in, and you know that that city does have a down payment and closing cost assistance program, then you want to make sure that you contact them, because there's certain information that you want to make sure, you know, that you get. First, you want to contact them and find out just what is the maximum income that a family has to have. Because the cities, they're given a guideline that they have to follow, you know, from the federal government on what that income could be, but they might, if they wanted to decide to lower those incomes. So one of the first things you want to find out, what is going to be the income for the family size. Then you want to ask them, what is the maximum purchase price? Because the cities can decide what is their maximum purchase price that they want to have. You know, the city of Plano says that the maximum purchase price is $125,000. Dallas County says our maximum purchase price is going to be 95% of the FHA loan limit, which the federal government allows. Then you want their program guidelines. All the guidelines from these programs are different. Dallas County, we want you to come to us first, make application, let us approve you, then we give you a 60-day commitment so that you can go out and look for a house, and once you have found the house, the money has already been reserved for you. Other programs is on a first-come, first-served basis. Once you get an accepted contract, then you can apply for the down payment and closing cost assistance. So you want to contact each city or whoever program that you're working on and find out just what are their guidelines that they have, how to make application with them, and find out what funds that they have available. Dallas County, right now we're giving $7,500. That's going to change just a little bit because I didn't tell you, but most of the money for the down payment and closing cost assistance programs, they come from your federal government. And the federal government has several different types of acts that they have which they can give the money. So our money has been coming from what they call the home program, but now the new money that we're going to get is coming from CDBG funds, Community Development Block Grant. So there's going to be a little change in how we administer, that program. So that's why it's important to find out from each city or county or whoever you're talking with, what are their program guidelines, because depending on where that money came from is going to determine how that down payment assistance is going to be offered to you. You can contact the state to find out about their bond programs. Now these bonds the cities or the counties or the state will issue these bonds. You have investors who purchase these bonds, and when they purchase these bonds, then the city, county, or state is able to provide, that assistance to, first-time home buyers. You can check with different nonprofits, and I think real estate agents are really a good source because a lot of times when we're trying to make sure that people know about these programs, we know that the first contact that you'll have would probably be with a real estate agent. So a lot of times, information is provided to real estate agents about the programs. If you want to find out about the state of Texas, their programs, their website is myfirsttexashome.com. You can go to that website, myfirsttexashome.com, and they will tell you exactly how much funds are available and how you can access those funds. Usually with the state of Texas, they have a lender list because those lenders have to pay the state in order to be able to provide the assistance. So you'll have to select one of those lenders, from their lender list. So if you go to myfirsttexashome.com, it'll take you to the page for the maximum purchase price. It also will take you to the page of their minimum income that a person, or maximum income that a person can have. And then also there's a mortgage credit certificate program. And this mortgage credit certificate program doesn't provide down payment and closing cost assistance, but is a tax credit that you can have for as long as you have that mortgage loan. So it can give you a tax credit for up to $2,000. Now, usually when you file your income tax, once you become a homeowner, you will have exemptions that you can get for your interest on your loan, for your property taxes, but those are exemptions. Those things that'll come, they'll look at as a whole. But when you have a tax credit, it actually reduces the amount of taxes that you're going to have to pay to the federal government. So Uncle Sam's not going to get as much. So I'll give you an example. Say you did your taxes and you found out that you owed Uncle Sam $1,000. Well, you got this MCC and they allowed you to take the maximum tax credit of $2,000. So you go ahead and you put that on your tax return. So instead of you owing Uncle Sam $1,000, you're getting that tax credit for $2,000, then you're actually going to get $1,000 back from Uncle Sam. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so let's turn to the back of this form. And I tried to give you some of the income guidelines. So if you're in the Dallas, Texas Metroplex area, you'll see the income guidelines for 80% of median income. So this is already figured for you. So if you have a family of 4, then a family of 4, the income is $56,100. If you lived in Fort Worth, Arlington, then in that area, a family of 4, income cannot be more than $55,350. Everybody with me on that? Now, just want to let you know a little bit of information. Come March 25th, these guidelines will change. We're going to have new income guidelines, and they are going to lower about $2,000 around in that area. $1,500 to $2,000. So just keep that in mind. This is going to change. So remember I said the down payment and closing cost assistance programs were basically for low income. So if you did not fit in that income category, then look at the bond program. So for the bond program in the Dallas area, for 3 or more family members, then you can see that person can make up to $80,615. Fort Worth, Arlington, then you're looking at $79,850. So if you cannot qualify for the down payment and closing cost assistance programs, then you're going to have to look at the bond program. Family member with a disability. Those are the cities that we service. You'll notice that the city of Dallas is not on there because the city of Dallas chooses to use their funds in other ways. But we can provide up to $20,000 toward down payment and closing cost assistance. So I think that's pretty good. Also, if you look on I have an information letter that says Upfront Cost Assistance Program, UPCAP, that's the name of our down payment and closing cost assistance program. And you'll see the cities that we serve. Notice again that we do not service the city of Dallas. A lot of times people think that because the city of Dallas is in Dallas County that we service that city. But we don't. That's because the city of Dallas has their own program, called the MAP program, the Mortgage Assistance Program. And these are our guidelines for our program. Keep in mind one thing that you need to take into account, that most down payment and closing cost assistance programs have a minimum number of years that they want you to live in that property. Dallas County says 5 years. You have to live in the property 5 years. If you're looking at a bond program, you want to make sure that you live in the bond program for 8 years. So a certain number of years that you have to live. And for all down payment and closing cost assistance programs, they do require that you have a home buyer education class. So I do have a flyer here for the home buyer education class. Dallas County, we offer this class each month. There are other HUD-approved counseling agencies that also provide home buyer education. But one thing I can tell you, a lot of times people think this is just a step they have to go through in order to get the down payment and closing cost assistance. Well, it's a little bit more than that. We do foreclosure counseling in our office. And when someone comes in and they have a problem paying their mortgage payment, the first thing that we ask them, did you attend a home buyer education class? 9 times out of 10, they did not attend a class. And we know that if you want to live in your home for as long as you want, without someone coming in and taking that home from you, we know that this is going to help you because we go through the process. We talk about working with the real estate agent, working with your lender. We tell you about getting the inspections, how to work with the title companies. We also talk about the mortgage loan process. And then after we talk about the rights and responsibilities of home ownership, we're going to give you some tips, on home maintenance and some of those things that you need to know once you become a homeowner. And how that if you do have problems making your mortgage payment, there are a lot of companies out there that are scams that will hurt you. So you know who to pick up the phone and call if you do have problems. So again, this is just some general information about down payment and closing cost assistance programs. If you have any questions, I will be here, until noon, but I want to thank each one of you for coming out. Do you have any questions?
Could you tell me about you said the MAP program?
Yeah, Mortgage Assistance Program. That's the city of Dallas. If you look on the back, I do have the city of Dallas.